Welcome to week 8. This tutorial will explain how to use the goal setting flowchart to complete this week's assignment. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Google and you're going to sign in to your account. Once you're signed in, you'll go to the class website for this week. It says week 8 assignment. And this is the video. Obviously, you'll already have been there because this is the video that you're watching right here. And right underneath the video, it says assignment. Click here to go to the future planning flowchart and fill it out. So go ahead and click there. And it's going to open this. However, if you see this right here, it says view only. That means you can't edit it. So what you need to do is you need to go to File, Make a Copy, and click OK. Now it saves it and you can edit it. So if you try and change this, you can't. See it when you click on it, instead of letting you edit the text, it puts a blue box around it. That's because this is what's called in Google Documents, it's called a drawing. So in order to edit it, you have to double click the mouse. And it's going to bring you to the drawing field to edit it. The boxes and the title, goal, and stuff, these are all, it's a picture, it's in the background, you can't do anything. What you're going to do is you're going to click where the red text is. See how the blue box pops up? That's what you're going to change. So click where the red text is and delete it. The first one is, what's your goal for 5 years from now? That's the one we're on right now. So think about how old you are right now. If you're 18 years old, okay, 5 years, you'll be 23. So let's say your goal 5 years from now is to be a high school English teacher. Get a job as a high school. Don't laugh. I know you don't all want to be high school English teachers. I didn't either when I was 18 years old, and yet here I am, and I'm glad I have this job. So anyway, I'm just throwing it out there because that's my job. Say this is your goal. Okay, so in order for this to happen, get a job as a high school English teacher, what are 2 things that you have to do in order to get there? Okay, well, one thing obviously is you have to graduate from college with good grades. And another thing you have to do is get a teaching credential. Okay, well, what are 2 things you have to do to graduate from college? Because it says, in order for this to happen, this must happen, this right here. So in order to get a job as a high school English teacher, you have to graduate from college with good grades. In order for this to happen, this must happen. So if I want to graduate from college with good grades, what's one thing I have to do? Okay, well, I have to study hard and get all A's and B's in my classes. That's a little obvious. I would make it a little more specific. Okay, well, obviously you have to study. Let me set a goal. Study for at least, let's say, 2 hours a day outside of class. I'll make this my other goal. And I'm going to put get all A's and B's in my classes. I want to get good grades. Okay, so to get a teaching credential, what do I have to do? Well, I have to get a college degree, but I already have that. So something else I have to do, I have to get accepted a teaching credential program, and I have to get experience as a teacher by tutoring and student teaching. Basically finding jobs that are going to help give me experience so that I can get a job as a teacher. Make sense? So when you're done with that, you're going to click Save and Close, and that edits the first one. When you scroll down the page, there's 2 more. It goes backwards. It goes, where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 2 years from now? Where do you want to be 1 year from now? And it's the same thing for all 3 of them. You just have to double click. And your goals are going to narrow. So 5 years from now, if I want to get a job as a high school English teacher, well, 2 years from now, remember before I said I have to graduate from college with good grades and get a teaching credential. So 2 years from now, maybe one of my goals is to, let's say, find a job tutoring students. Okay, well, what are 2 things I'm going to have to do to get a job. First thing I'm going to have to, let's say, get a car. And another thing I'm going to have to do to get a job is get two good recommendations. We talked a little bit about getting letters of recommendation from people, so I would want to make sure I had two people who are going to give me good recommendations and say I'm going to be good to work with students. So now I would have to break that down even further. Okay, what do I have to do to get a car? Get a job to pay for a car, gas, and insurance. And something else I have to do, let's pretend I already have my driver's license. That's a good question. What do I have to do to get a car? Okay, let's just say save up money to buy a car. I don't want car payments. I'm still in college. Just buy a car. And fix it if it breaks down. Because when you get a cheap car, it's going to break down. So you want to make sure you can fix it. And you're not just paying for this car that, you know, like you can't drive. Okay, so if I want to find a job tutoring, I got to get a couple good recommendations from people. So I am going to say one of the things I'll do is volunteer somewhere. Volunteer in a youth program somewhere. I'm in college, I'm busy, I may not have time to volunteer, but volunteering can help you find a job. So it's always an option. If you don't have a job and you've got spare time, go out and volunteer, because that's going to help you make some connections. It's called networking, and it's going to help you get a job. Okay, so one thing I might do, I might volunteer in a youth program. It shows that I like to work with kids, and then maybe whoever runs the program can write me a good recommendation. Something else maybe I'll do is get to know at least one of my professors so that they can write me a good recommendation. And that reason would be because you want someone who knows your academic skills. Not just are you good with students, but professor's going to know that you're a good writer, you're a good speaker, not that, oh, I'm going to go volunteer to tutor students in math, but I can't add 2 plus 2. You know, so they're going to be able to give you a good academic recommendation. So that's what you want to do. So let me move that. There we go. Okay, so you get the general idea. I don't think I have to do the 1 year, but maybe 1 year is going to be a little more narrow, like related to studying, maybe related to school, related maybe to my personal life. Maybe I've got a different goal for my personal life a year from now, but it's going to feed into my 2-year goal and my 5-year goal. So hopefully this helps, not to show you how to type in this form, but also hopefully gives you a little bit of an idea of how you want to structure your goals. And as always, talk to the lab teacher, talk to your teacher if you want some help with this, and hopefully they can give you some ideas, because goal setting is important. All right, have a good day.